Okay, so today's tomato review is going to be on the White Beauty tomato. Alright, so let's take a closer look at this tomato. And as you can see, zoom you out. As you can see, it's a gorgeous white color with these very prominent ridge lines here. Very prominent feature on this tomato. It did this last year with this tomato. I didn't get too many tomatoes last year with it, but yeah, it did the same thing. A lot of big, heavy, star-shaped ribs on it. Here's the top of it. Yes, I did write on it. Don't panic. And you can see it's this awesome looking white tomato here. Now, they call these white tomatoes, but they're generally a light yellow creamy color, but you could call them white tomatoes. That's what they're considered. But let's cut this open and see what it looks like. Now, I'm cutting a lot of tomatoes open, so I got to make sure I get the seeds separated here. Oh, it's a little dry on the inside. I'm not liking that too much. A little dry. That's not a good sign. It's a shame. Yeah, it's dry, guys. That's a dry one. It's a dry run. It's almost like a paste tomato now. It's too dry for me. I mean, I'll taste test it anyway, but I'll tell you right now, just looking at that, being dry, no good for me. So, and believe me, it's been getting plenty of water. It's been raining here, and this is growing out in the outside garden, but it's been raining like every other day here. I mean, it's getting plenty of water. It's just nothing to complain about. Tomato got nice and big. There's no reason for it to be hollow like that, you know. You can see the hollowness in there. That's not good. Anyway, as you can see in the rind, barely can tell, but I can see it like right there. See the wilding in the rind. Seeds, unfortunately, are not firmly attached to the rind. That's not a good feature. The meat in the middle is very thick. I'm going to be using this to make salsa anyway, so it's getting mixed with other tomatoes, so I'm not that worried about it. But you can see it's very thick. That's a good sauce tomato. Now, I had mentioned this in another video I shot on the white tomato. I had made sauce before with these white tomatoes, and it makes this white sauce, which when you put it on pizza, it just, you do not expect that flavor sensation, and it throws the people off who eat it. They're like, what in the world? How? I thought tomato sauce was red, you know? They're confused. So it does make a very interesting tomato sauce. If you want to try it, give it a go. I've done it. Again, if your tomatoes are dry like that, the sauce is going to be really thick and creamy. You're going to want to add something watery to it to kind of make the sauce like a tomato sauce. You don't want it creamy like that. So if it's too creamy when you're making it and it looks like this, you're going to want to add another tomato that's juicier, and it's going to add juice to it. If all your white tomatoes are all like that, that's not good. You're not going to be able to use it to make a sauce. I mean, you can add it to make sauces, but to make a white sauce, it's got to be a watery tomato, and this just isn't watery enough, just looking at it. But we'll try. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a little better down below. Here's the bottom half of it. And it's still a gorgeous looking tomato. Just dry, like I can tell you it's going to be dry and chalky. So, but let's give it a go. Actually, I take that back. It's not dry, and it's not really chalky. It's a little bit chalky, a little bit, but not very much, but a little bit chalky. But it's not really dry. As soon as you bite into the meat part, man, this water comes out of there. This whole meat thing is filled with water, but it's not very tangy. It's not as tangy as I would like this tomato to be. This year the tang is really low. I'm going to say 28%, just below 30% on the tang. It's not really a 30. It's a little low. Sweetness is probably about 25, 30, somewhere in there. So the balance is pretty good. It's just the tangy is really low. The sweetness I can live without, you know, being too sweet because it's watery, and you're gonna get that tomato taste afterwards to follow the aftertaste. But that tangy part, when it's low like that, It's just, you need that tangy part to deliver that flavor of the tomato to you as an aftertaste. If it's not there, the tomato just runs flavorless, basically. Let me take another bite. My palate's now adjusted. Skins were a little chewy. It's okay. It's more watery than anything. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to be a little dry, but it's actually nice with the water. It's not overly water, but it's moist enough. It's moist enough for you to get that flavor sensation. The tangy part is really low, but it does carry in the tomato flavor, just not very strongly. Sweetness was also very low. Now, I definitely like to see the sweetness come up a little bit on that, and the tangy. So it's a little bit low, but this year I'm not going to rate this tomato very highly because a lot of those things that I just mentioned to you, it's not one of my #1 picks this year. Now, I have grown these tomatoes in the past, and you haven't seen any of that hollowing in there, that emptiness around the seeds. So, not sure what happened there, but it does happen. You are going to get that situation. Just make a sauce with it. If you don't want to use it on your hamburgers or anything, just throw it in a sauce pot and melt it down, or put it in your salad. You'll be fine. But as far as trying to get a full flavor out of it, this year it's not really coming up to par, but it wasn't bad. I'm going to rate this as a #2. I'm going to rate this tomato. I can't really give it a #1, but it's definitely not bad enough for me to rate as a 3. I was thinking about bringing it on the 3 level, but yeah, I don't know. It's not really bad enough for me to bring it on a 3 just because these were dry. Had those seeds been attached to the rind, I think I would have had the full flavor of the tanginess and everything. This would have been a dynamite tomato right here. You throw a little salt on it and see if it helps it. It's sea salt, so sea salt tends to pull moisture out of the air. It's very hygroscopic. Let's taste that. Oh yeah. You put that salt on there, everything balances out every time. Yeah, if you got a tomato that's underperforming and you're not that happy with it and it's not really tasting that good, put a little salt on there, you're good to go. Now, if you're eating the tomatoes in your salad or you're making sauce with it, don't worry about it. A tomato is going to generally taste like a tomato. It's going to be okay, one way, okay another way. It's when you're eating tomatoes raw and you're kind of like sampling tomatoes like I'm sampling them. That's where the taste really gets critical. Now, that doesn't mean you can't take those tomatoes and use it for your cooking. That's absolutely foolish to say that. You could always use it for cooking. Now, some tomatoes are better in other types of cooking than other, but in general, you could always eat whatever tomato you got. Even though this tomato is dry, I'm still going to make salsa with it. So, but yeah, this is a good tomato. I would definitely say give it a go. This is one of several white tomatoes that I do grow, and like again, if I get good soil, I can build up on that flavor. I just need to get the lime in that soil, and we'll see if we can get this tomato up to par. But as of right now, we're just going to rate this #2, and that's about it. That's your tomato review for the White Beauty. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.